Now, with high gold prices and tough economic times, more and more people are cashing in on their jewellery. But a BBC Scotland investigation has found that some people may be getting a very raw deal. Scottish consumer groups are calling for a code of conduct, like the one south of the border. Good morning. Scotland's business presenter Wasim Zakir has been looking into the booming cash for gold industry.
Gold, a safe haven during turbulent times and a commodity of last resort. It's in demand as never before. Its price has soared in recent years, and more people are cashing in on their old gold. The number of pawn shops have doubled in the last 3 years, and gold buying outlets have mushroomed. But I've heard some real horror stories about unscrupulous gold buyers.
Our main concerns are when people send off their gold. We're concerned that people are offered the valuation, and then when the gold gets there, they're offered a much lower valuation, and then people are left with the option either accepting the lower valuation or they have to pay to get their gold back. Some people are being charged £50 just to get their own property sent back.
I've managed to get hold of some gold for myself, and I want to do some mystery shopping with it to see what sort of prices I'll be offered. But first, I want to see how much it's actually worth. My little 18-carat charm weighs 2.69 grams, and according to today's scrap gold prices, it's worth £59.60. My 9-carat earrings weigh 3.76 grams and are worth £43.
Oh, she's a gold digger, way over town, that digs on me.
I sampled a dozen gold buyers around Glasgow, and the prices I was offered ranged from £50 to £90. This man's shop gave me one of the better offers for one of my trinkets, £48, when it was valued at nearly £60. He agreed to explain what accounts for this difference.
We stand to make a margin, but it's to cover the costs, and yes, we have to make a little bit of profit, but I think we are paying much more than most. And our training scheme, you know, all has to be paid for. Our staff training, it's all time, the shops, the way they're set up, the systems we put in place, and the advice we give to customers. We have to be rewarded, and I'm afraid it's in the form of profit.
Well, it's all well and good taking your gold to a shop where you can walk out if you're not happy with the price. But what about those companies where you have to send off your gold? The poorest prices I received were from online and postal cash companies. One of them offered me a staggering £17.07 for my gold. So just what regulation is there to prevent people getting ripped off?
As far as I'm aware in Scotland, there are none. So many people can just pick a price on the day or pick a price dependent on that customer, which is very unfair. There should be a published price on the day. The customer will understand you've got a margin. That's why you're here, you're in business. But there should be a published price so the guidelines are more clear to the customer.
In England and Wales, a code of conduct was launched last week to try and self-regulate the industry. It's something consumer bodies would like to see adopted in Scotland.
We would welcome any kind of regulation that makes sure that customers are protected in any dealings they have with the cash for gold industry. It is a concern that Scottish consumers might be worse off than their counterparts in England and Wales, and we don't want the situation to develop like that, so we would welcome regulation where it's appropriate.
But others warn a voluntary code might not work.
We are aware that what we need to do is give the voluntary code some time to be tested to see whether it does make that improvement. There will be concerns that because it's a voluntary code, the people who are at the worst end of practice are unlikely to abide by it, and then we'd have to look at whether or not the government would introduce legislation to protect the public more carefully.
As the ill winds of the global economy and increasing prosperity in India and China drive up demand for gold, one thing is for sure, the scrap gold buying business is here to stay for a while yet.